right, that new game smells wearing off. Let's just get down to business.
Pulverizing them suffice? No, I couldn't liquefy them. Apply heat and congeal them into kibble no beast could resist. Oh, Ethel, darling, you're a genius. Approach with less haste next time, won't you? Copernicus may be tame, but he still doesn't take kindly to being startled. I am Ethel Tinsley, chimeric scientist. I'm responsible for taming this delightful raptidon here. He will protect our fair town from his feral brethren in the wilds. Theoretically. Officer Carr has been in a state waiting for me to train the raptidons to, maul on command. It's rather pressing, and alas, one scientist-turned-tamer can only do so much. One might say avoiding Carr and the minister's would-be fisticuffs. If you two have spotted the chasm between them, I fear the Protectorate have already pinpointed the way with which to exploit it. I'm unused to the way things are done here, I suppose. The Protectorate leadership never behaved in such a manner. The fact is that those two never got along particularly well, even under the best of circumstances. One wishes to woo Protectorate subjects to our ranks. The other wishes to secure a decisive victory with weaponry and technology. As for which approach is best, I wish I knew. Then her hands will be tied no longer. I suppose I can find relief in that. Some may think it too cruel to use Officer Carr's methods to strike the enemy while they are down. But I have come to believe there may only be one way to truly defeat an enemy such as the Protectorate. She believes this as well. Very well. I ought to focus more on my work than on social tensions anyhow. I work directly with Officer Clark and her soldiers to ensure they're outfitted with the best Raptidon counterparts Paradise Island can provide. In theory, they'll be trusted to guard our most precious assets, including our leadership. For now, they deter encroachment from wild Raptidons. It's most agreeable. I'll not have such pessimism permeating my lab. It makes the Raptidons anxious, you know.
Jor has some chic putting the Earth Directorate symbol on her wall after everything she's done.
My cover story has worked. I am safely ensconced at the Vox station, assigned to the lowly Information Input and Retrieval Department. Seems a colony so certain of its absolute control over its subjects can be less than rigorous when it comes to security. I was able to easily widen out a space behind the walls of the main control room to establish my safe room, giving me unfettered access to the communication transfer conduits. I have hacked into their system downstream from the security protocols, so I am able to infiltrate their entire system with them being none the wiser. While I have little doubt as to the success of our mission, trepidation still gnaws at me, though I cannot say why. Perhaps it is simply the normal mission commencement jitters. I thought my duties complete. Information gathered, reports filed, preparations made. I'd even created a fictitious identity and work transfer to Horizon Point Station well ahead of schedule, in order to keep anyone from tracking my movements upon commencing the mission. All that was left was the waiting. Or so I thought. Then, troubling information came to light. I've seen the numbers. I've seen the equations. While I don't understand all of it, I understand enough to know it is the truth. And I am the only one in a position to act upon it, though it means the betrayal of my team and the duty I swore to uphold. But can I? I did it. They are all dead. And I am still alive. I had not expected this. I had prepared no alibi, and so felt assured my ruse would be discovered and I'd not have to carry this burden. But the complete gullibility of the Protectorate subjects cannot be underestimated, it seems. My threadbare excuse of my grievous wounds as pitchball injuries was accepted without question. I can only keep telling myself it had to be done. Something which becomes harder by the day as the rift anomaly grows in the sky. But it was all part of the plan. Wasn't it?
I can't believe this. Void me if I understand any of this. DeVries sold us out for what? Because of a few equations? Some dots and lines on a graph? Good fucking law. I mean, she wasn't a damn scientist. She said it herself. She didn't understand all of it, the math. So what was she thinking? Oh, yeah? And how many of those colleagues went and blew up a space station on account of it? Damn it! I never wanted to talk about this. I wanted to just leave it alone. Told myself, no point in dredging up the past. Should have known it wouldn't rest. DeVries may have saved me on Triangulum, but I wasn't the only one looked up to her. Lots of the other recruits talked about her too, back at the academy. We all thought she was the pinnacle of what an agent should be. Tough, smart, ain't a job she couldn't get done. And better and faster than everyone else. Inspired all of us. Reckon so. It's might embarrassing how much worship we all put on her name. You put a tool in my hand, I would have built monuments to her. Figure my own career could be just that. Doing for others what she done for me. Never imagined I'd actually get to work with her. Me, some nobody from Triangulum. And then she betrayed us. Tried telling myself it was an accident, but now we've got the cold, hard proof it wasn't. Law only knows why she trusted the Order's numbers. Ain't cynical if it turns out true. DeVries was willing to sacrifice us. I have to know what for. I mean, she always struck me as so pragmatic, real sensible-like. Never figured she'd go all in on predictions from a bunch of monks. Done some good too. Even I can admit that not everyone following the plan is a fanatic. But when those beliefs start to require hurting others, even killing them, that's worth questioning their virtue. No, didn't even know DeVries was alive until she brought the satellite down. Until then, what kept me going was mostly training and stubbornness. And Val. But to your point, holding someone who's wronged you accountable for their actions ain't an act of vengeance. Some might call it justice. Right after we get answers. Whatever her plans, she started putting them in place while stationed undercover at the Vox Relay. Our next point of order ought to be getting in there. Reckon there's got to be someone on the island who can help us with that. Let's keep asking around. Friendly like.
just tarot excrement.
Ibarra, you failed to take your daily supplements 3 days in a row. Vitamins are a vital tool in aiding wound healing and achieving your long-term health goals.
We've talked about this, Val. Be polite airing folks' private health information in front of others.
If oral capsules are not your preferred delivery method, suppositories may be a viable alternative.
All right. I'll take the damn supplements. The normal ones. And maybe I'll examine your courtesy settings while I'm at it.
Ready to wait.
detecting hostile life forms.
He's gone. Hey you! Get over here before you get yourself killed. Damn idiot.
Engaging combat protocol. We can nearly find the stop that reached an alarming low. Health benefits available to fast.
No, you ain't got what I need. And you can't come stumbling around here looking like prey. These raps ain't had a bite to eat since their pods dropped from the look of it. And a desperate rapt is a dangerous rapt. If the occasion calls for it. But I fancy myself something of a biologist. Or, at least I used to. Me and raptidons, we're well acquainted. I know their patterns, behaviors, attacks. Know what gives them an edge around folk who ain't in possession of that knowledge. Which is why I gotta ask, what are you doing here? Oh, that's a high-profile target. Huh. If she entrusted that to you, then I reckon we're on the same side. Or something like it. I'm Inez Silung, Auntie's choice. Former combat medic in the Enhanced Soldier Division. Now, menial troubleshooter. Minister Milver Street of Fairfield sent me here to retrieve some information. Not my most exciting assignment, but suppose we can't expect much with the stalemate on this island. I'll admit I was eager for some good hunting around here. My graft, needs some bolstering. But if the raps here are as weak as this one, it won't help me none. When there's paperwork, there's enemy secrets. And dropping Raptidons on the place is a quick way to stop any personnel keen on destroying those secrets before we find them. It's a kinder fate than if they survived. Allowing us to walk off with this intel would surely land any survivor in front of the firing squad. Or sentimental refreshment. This place is an archive of Protectorate censorship. If it's been sanitized, censored, or rewritten out of the Protectorate's history, the Ministry's where you'll find it. And apparently there's some highly sensitive intel about mental refreshment hereabouts. The Minister sent me here to find it. I've had worse. Most times it's mundane work like paper pushing or tidying Milver Street Salon. Other times it's bloodier, but the Rat Pod's made quick work of the folk here. Can't exactly afford to be picky about the jobs that come my way neither. Considering my condition, options are limited. Well, the only people who believe that are in this room right now. Including that dead Rapt, I reckon. I'm considered a liability. My graph's all wrong. Most everyone else who got one passed or became permanently incapacitated. So they shuttered the program. It was a total failure. Everyone in Fairfield reckons my time will come soon too. But I'm still mostly upright. For now. I just know I can do more for Auntie and for the war. It's just this damn contract. Unless I can amend it so I might fix my graft, proving myself ain't happening anytime soon. Weren't many of us grafted soldiers to begin with. To think I'm one of the lucky ones. No. Enhanced Soldier Division was the fancy public-facing name for the grafting program. And when I say it was shuttered, I mean completely fucking demolished. Bet they'd erase it from the financial records if they could. It was that much of an embarrassment. In the wake of such a failure, it's left us grafted folks with no support. I only been able to treat my own ailments thanks to Doc Tinsley in Fairfield. She worked for the program for a time. She's a good one. She's bound by contract to work on whatever task Fairfield's illustrious leader set her to, nothing else. But she also ain't quite got the hang of the employment thing. Truth is, my time is coming. The graft's making me sick, and it'll kill me if I leave it be. But I ain't giving up. There's gotta be a way to fix it. You looked at the fine print of an employment contract lately? It says any action taken by a worker that could result in impeded work must be approved by the contract holder. Not only would trying to fix my graft impede my work, but it's also financially unviable, unproven, a risky investment. So I'm stuck with a limb that's slowly poisoning me. Could pursue fixing it myself were I out of my contract, but if I attempted to end it, I'd have to waive all employment rights for the next year. It's a non-starter. Let me put it this way. If I was already on the bottom rung, this knocks me clean off and buries me in sand. But I started from nothing before. I could do it again. Maybe. Ain't easy moving between companies. And I wasn't always with Auntie's choice. But that's a story for another time. Get the feeling you will. Go on now. There's probably plenty of Protectorate info waiting to be scooped up if you're keen. Just mind the raps. I got what I came for, so I reckon it's time to see about my contract. Law knows I could use a lucky break.
Just me, or did Inez remind you of Helen? Tough like her. Shame she's Bailey's choice.
nature made apples, but Auntie Fizzo's made them better with Auntie Cleo's patented mud apple cider.
This whole capitalism thing isn't so dreadful after all. Sanitary engineering. That's far more we receive 2 rest days a year, which are also paid. We'll be compensated for doing literally nothing. I believe it's called a hello. You must be a new here to do some fishing. No, my mistake. You're obviously just passing through.
Let's keep your lamps lit for wildlife.
Hostile.
And I'll take care of it. I swear that wasn't fun.
This stretch runs between Fairfield and the Eastern Forward Operating Base. North of here is an old abandoned chapel.
We're closed.
Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. Why are you asking? Who are you?
The people she tried to kill.
By the architect. I had no idea. I wish I could say it was unbelievable. I was afraid she was becoming a danger to herself and to others. But this is horrifying.
Yeah, imagine how we feel. Why don't you tell us where she is so we can make sure she ain't being a danger to herself or others?
And how are you going to do that?
That ain't something you ought to be concerning yourself about.
If you think I'm going to help you do what I think you're talking about, you are deluded. It is of no matter, regardless. I do not know where she is. I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. I'm afraid she's going to do something terrible, but I just don't know what. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. How did... You saw her terminal, didn't you? Victor's an Order archivist. We were all friends for a time. But then, shortly before the schism, they started talking to some others inside the Order. That's when things became tense. I started to become uneasy, scared, really. She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became just too much for me. Among other things, for some reason she was obsessed with the cliffhanger ending of Chapter 6. It was the one where capitalist fanatics brought complete destruction upon Arcadia, but you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the beginning of the next chapter. It didn't matter to DeVries, though. She just kept going over it and over it. Would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That, and the invasion itself, set her mind to dark things. I begged her not to go down that road again. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7, going on 8 years ago now. She never slept, didn't talk to anyone if she could avoid it. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. I couldn't watch her go back to how she'd been. Or worse. We became friends when she... well, she saved me. I'd said something without thinking. Must have been distracted. We all know to watch every last word we say. For some reason, she interceded on my behalf with an arbiter. And she convinced him he didn't hear what he actually did. No one does that. Void, I didn't think anyone could. We all were, originally, before the schism. But she never gave it up, even when it became illegal to even mention their name. Which was surprising with how angry she seemed to be getting with them, even as she was deep into scheming with Victor and the others. She even continued to sign her messages, "See you in the equation." It's all so confusing. What do you mean? It was where she worked, one of the Protectorate's communications hubs. She didn't speak of it much, at least to me. She may have spoken to Victor about it. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have failed to safeguard the colony. Then they had to answer the accusations the Order leveled at them.
She ain't the only one.
It's difficult to explain. She spoke about things in unfamiliar ways. I felt her words to be freeing. at first. But slowly, I began to feel unmoored, doubting everything I ever knew. She said learning the truth of things was worth it. But now I question whether her truth was just more of her penchant to sow chaos, no matter who may be caught in her schemes. Some days I wish I'd never listened to her at all. Others, I can't help but miss her. Even with everything.
Know a little something about that, too.
I did try to. Once. After the corporatists invaded Paradise Island and took over Fairfield. They seemed to let anyone in there. Some boisterous fellow even tried to recruit me. No. Nearest I could surmise, she'd left just prior to the fall of Fairfield. I'm ashamed to admit, I did break into her safe. She used the same code for everything. 15-778.
That is Agent DeVries's identification code, Commander.
She said it had some meaning from her previous life. I'd hoped she'd left something for me, but the safe was empty. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but when you find her, please remind her of who she used to be. She's unwell, but I know there's still hope for her. That's all I can ask.